Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Just thought I would pop in to talk to you about what's going on in the planets and the stars. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for September 12th through 15th. So we're leading up into this Pisces full moon energy, really powerful. Are you feeling it? What an incredible time we've been in with all of our personal planets visiting this mutable T-square, one after another. Now Mars is in the mutable T-square right now. We are feeling that. It was exact yesterday in its square with Jupiter, and it will be right over this full moon that it has exact with its opposition with Neptune. So it's interesting because Mars is the last to go through, but Mars is our main action planet. Mars is like, let's go, let's do this. And so we're still feeling some energies of frustration around not being able to know where we're going or who we are or what we're doing, right? Because immutable energies, especially with Neptune and Pisces involved, is just like that hall of mirrors feeling, going in circles. And can you trust your intuitions, and kind of lost as far as being able to know your next steps, your bigger next steps, but also your just kind of how to get through the things you'd like to accomplish in the day. But the energy coming in around this is very interesting because we are immutable energies is about shifting, right? It's about adjusting along the way. It's kind of like, oh, okay, this is kind of going on. So I need to, in order to get my plan to happen, I need to, make an adjustment. And so all of this mutable energy and all of our personal planets coming into this Jupiter square Neptune, making this T-square in Virgo, is this rapid shifting. And actually we've been in a time of rapid shifting, the ongoing, it's a continual acceleration, it seems like, with our astrological energies, what's happening, more and more intensity, shifting, changing that's trying to happen in our world. And so it's really kind of helpful to know that this last period of time, this last kind of 2-week period of time has been just a huge rearranging of energies. And that, of course, energetic shifts or shifts in general happen first energetically before you see them manifest, right? And it's been a very uncomfortable time for a lot of people. But I'm seeing this huge energy of like a shift that really has occurred in people where they're dropping these old stories. And it's kind of cool now because this energy of this, so this is coming off now. There's still frustration and confusion with Mars in this T-square, but at the same time, this Pisces full moon is bringing this very spiritual energy into our life. And it's an energy of like, okay, you have done so much clearing and so much shifting and so much letting go, because our world in general is in constant changing. Our manifest world is always changing, and this is what stresses out humans the most, is trying to hold on to things, right, that are either our situations or people in our life or our objects, and it's like constant flux. And it can be, especially when you start to go through this ascension process, everything speeds up and time, your relationship to time changes a lot. And so typically people will go through a period of time where they're really thrown off and like can't get a grip or ground out because the changes, it's like happening so fast, and we're like trying to hold on and we can't figure out who we are in this shifting. But the picture now is that, okay, we have, if you've been paying attention, right, if you have been going through this squeeze and not running from it, like, Neptune really wants to escape. In Pisces, it's like, oh, let's just kind of pretend that doesn't exist, right? And that can only work for so long, right? Maybe that's why things have to get so intense sometimes, because it's like, hey, pay attention here. some shit's going down, right? But people have really dropped so much. I mean, there is a huge shift in the collective field, and it's really beautiful because, and at first that space is made, and the space feels empty. It feels lost. It feels like, who am I? What's the point of living? Why am I even bothering? There's nothing here. I don't know who I am, and there's no point, right? But it's like that's a part of on the journey. And now this Pisces full moon has such a beautiful energy that's trying to come in. And it's kind of like, okay, now fill up those spaces of emptiness, of all you've let go, and receive. And a lot of what we've been going through is around healing our belief systems and programming around whether or not we deserve to receive, and it's silly because we are, by definition, human, is consciousness aware of itself. Then we are made from consciousness, and this consciousness is inside of us and available to us. It's our birthright to have a direct connection to source, but we've been programmed to think it's not possible. God doesn't love us. We messed up too bad, whatever happened. And these, and this is ancient programming that has been seeded in our consciousness for a very long time and operating in our field. So it's a lot to go back and get this, right? It's very traumatic things you may have experienced a whole long time ago. And to go back and relive these feelings that make no sense, and sensations and anxieties, it's just really, really intense. But all of it is getting us to this place of emptying out, like surrendering to that ego death, so that we can receive who we really are. So this Pisces full moon has a lot of energy around remembering who we are. And, that's just something that it just continues to amaze me when I work with people. And when you look at energies intuitively in their field and from these past lives of these skills and gifts that they have, and how far away people are from that it's so deeply suppressed and so kind of quarantined and kept away from them, from traumas they've experienced. And then the programming says that who you are in your gifts and skills, your power, your ability, your higher abilities, those things are going to hurt people or be dangerous. And that's a crossed wire misconception energy, but it creates this programming is able to take hold, that says you don't deserve this connection to source, which is ridiculous, because it's like, you are source. We have it right here within us. It's never gone anywhere. And the North Node in Cancer is trying to open us up to this receiving, to allowing ourselves to be loved and cared for in this world, to change our paradigm about, but it's hard because it's been thousands of years and many, many lifetimes for many of us, where it's like these patterns are so deep, and it's a huge 180-degree turnaround. But maybe that's this mutable energy. It's like shaking up, the snow dome. It's like shaking it up. We've been this Mutable T-Square the last 2 weeks. It's just like, okay, let's just give you guys a little shake. And it's like everything is, that's not really true to who you are is getting shaken up. And then, of course, this part of ourselves that wants to cling on to those parts kind of reacts like a little baby or a child with a temper tantrum and a freak out and grief and loss. And it's like, oh, wait, maybe that wasn't really a true part of me to begin with. And yet we hold on. And when this ego death happens, and it's just part of the time we live in right now, and of course it gets very much amplified at these different places in astrology, but it feels like who you thought you were is just ripped out from under you, and then it's just this free fall feeling. But the whole point of it is to make room for this source energy to come back home and live in your field. And so it's just a powerful time of kind of a line in the sand, this Pisces full moon, and saying, if you want to, and you're ready, you can drop all those old stories from the Piscean age, you know, like come out of the dark ages, come out of the programming that says that this world is working against you, that it's like, you know, you're targeted, you're never going to get anywhere, you can never win against these forces and all this stuff, right? This is the psychological play that's going on in our mind, which is in our consciousness, which is a microcosm of the bigger spiritual battle that's going on. And the trap is that, like, we have to get out of the battle completely, you know, and it doesn't mean you're being a doormat and you're letting these forces just take over in your life, right? Because there's a lot of personal empowerment, and that's this Mars energy right now. It's kind of like, hey, how do I claim my own sacred space, put myself back together, and feel like I can defend myself in this world and own my energies and claim my birthright. But it's like we are kind of having to, with this Virgo energy, sort through all those false parts of ourselves, and we're rather attached to them, even though they're not really us and they haven't really been serving us. But this Pisces full moon energy has a glimpse of our true potential available to us, and recognizing that when we can step out of the battle of the duality consciousness, we can, okay, so we've been all programmed, these types of souls that are drawn to this work and resonate with these messages. We have all wanted to be here to help and heal the planet, but we bought into, from times in the past where we may have used our higher abilities and then those powers were used for nefarious purposes. We've been programmed deep in our subconscious to fear our own power, right? And it keeps us in this lower battle of duality, a psychic battle going on in our mind. And we get so stuck in it. And the closer you get to freedom of releasing yourself from this battle, the more the battle comes. And it's just this total mind trap. And they want us, advanced souls, kept in this mind trap so that we can't access our true power, right? But the power that we have is around being a creator of a visualizer, a visionary. And what I've been shown is that these souls have this ability to create with the earth, with the cosmos, and a beautiful co-creative process, right? But we've been completely cut off from this. But we do have to, at some point, wake up to who we are and take responsibility for all that we have, these gifts and skills within us, and allow ourselves to feel good. Because when we feel good, not escaping reality, right? But when we allow ourselves to get out of this battle and connect to source, which is easier than it seems, it's very hard. Like I said, it gets harder and harder. People are going back and forth between the lower dimensional matrix energies and the freedom energies of the higher dimensional energies. But when we feel good, because we're not creating, when we think of creating our own reality, it's like you visualize it and you make it happen and you put up pictures and you meditate on it. It's like, no. This is about allowing the force of the creator, of creation energies, to work in your life. And what you need to do is, in the world, through your consciousness as a projector of reality, is to allow that energy and set the tone of it, right? So we've been caught up in this thing of like, we have to figure out how to fix it and it's up to us to make the world better. And really it's not. We're kind of stuck in this 3D reality, but we do have this higher consciousness that we've completely forgotten. We have very little access to, but when we're using it to our ability, what we're here to do ultimately is in a higher vibrational energy. And I know that's kind of gobbledygook, like everybody says this, and what does it really mean? But this is literally feeling good, allowing the joy of life to live. And in order to do that, we have to put our attention on the part of ourselves that doesn't change, right? And that's really hard because we got this grip, this psychological hold, you know, this false mental programming, psychological big mind that's trying to keep us in that psychic battle. And that is saying, oh, no, no, over here, there's a whole bunch of heaviness. There's a whole bunch of weight. You have to deal with all these problems. Fix it, right? And it's like, we don't actually know how to do it. We don't actually have the tools, but we do have the tools to align our vibration to the solutions and to the ideal. And so it's interesting because you can see this play out in life. You know, I'm sure you have had experiences where you can get really involved with what's going on and maybe too involved in other people's problems because you want to fix it, right? Because you're a fixer and you came here to heal the earth and help these lost souls, right? And then you became a lost soul because that's part of the process. And of course, then we realize that it's not our place, right? Because we're here to work with the free will, the prime directive, which is free will universe, where we all need to decide whether or not we're ready to evolve spiritually. And it can't be something anybody else does for us, right? As much as we would like to wake up the people around us, that isn't necessarily our job. And to fix their problems and solve these big issues and all that. And so then what we do is we detach, right? And we pull back and it's like, oh, it's so, you're sensitive soul, it's hard to handle. You feel like you have skills inside to help, but nobody wants it, or, it just isn't appropriate. And, then we get detached and we get depressed and we get kind of like, we can't handle being around those lower energies. And we have to, and that's part of the process too, to create our own permission to be at our own vibrational place and working out all these loyalty contracts of where we feel like we've, need to stay in lower energies because other people we have contracts with want to stay in lower energies. And yet it's hurting us so much. But then, so we go through that total detachment, right? But then there's another higher way, right? It's like, wait a minute, I don't feel like I should fix this. It's like up to me, but that's programming. And maybe that's like this old personality construct from another lifetime, ancient lifetime. But I can imagine, not specific solutions, but I can imagine this ideal. I can feel that there's a possibility for solutions here. And I don't know, but maybe my higher self knows, and maybe the creator, God, energy knows. And I can just put my attention on it in a neutral way and hold that ideal and hold that possibility for solution and let the magic happen. So much we like get in and we're trying to play God, and trying to fix and heal and just we get ourselves totally, this is why we're stuck here. We're in a big karmic mess, because we have gone too far into this lower evolved, we've created karma with these lower evolved energies, and now we're stuck here. And but it's a really beautiful picture of like, maybe this can this awareness can allow people a little bit more to be in the trust and the knowing of the solutions and the energies, the miracles that are available. And they don't come through us, really. They come when we get out of the way, but we can hold space for that. And that's like really all what we are here to do, right? Is to hold that space, be the cup, be the demonstration project of what's possible, and show the people around us what's possible. And instead of trying to bring them along with us, and hold space for that ideal. So there's just this really sweet energy with this Pisces full moon that it's like, yeah, go ahead, drop all those stories, let yourself be empty and lost for a minute so you can fill your cup with who you really are, and remember who you really are, and bring forward, let bubble to the surface. Because the part of ourselves that doesn't change, the part of ourselves that we bring with us through lifetimes, is the gifts of the evolution of all we've gone through. And these souls that I'm working with right now, it's like, have done so much and have so much available to them, and yet they have no idea, and they're scared of it. and they're blocking it. And it's just deeply suppressed in their psyche, along with the fear programming. So it's all got to come up to the surface. But we have been a massive cleaning house, and I'm sure you felt that. And now we get to fill up our cup with this beautiful energy of this Pisces full moon. There's just kind of like we've gone through this super chaotic shaking up, and now there's a moment of peace to reset our vibration and to receive and to practice our new ability to receive. Because if it's not up to us to fix it, like in a very practical way, then we don't need to feel those feelings of heavy responsibility from past lives. And we can move through in a more playful energy, going from the weight and the heaviness of these issues into, and allowing that to turn into more like a beach ball where we can play and we can trust in our higher self, in the higher, bigger picture. All of this is trying to get us closer to that essence within us and who we really are. And but the process has, it can be pretty intense because we're just mired with this karma and programming. So good work getting here. Congratulations on almost making it through this Mutable T-Square total confusion and stirring of the pot. Now we're going to kind of get serene for a minute. I hope you can join me for the Pisces full moon activation. It's going to be exactly 12 hours before the actual full moon, and that's at 10 a.m. Mountain Time in the US. That's 9 a.m. Pacific, and that's noon on the East Coast. And so that's tomorrow, Friday the 13th. And then the full moon happens in most of the world on Saturday. So this next couple of days is just a really great opportunity to put all of those stories aside and be present in the moment and receive the serenity that's available to us, the peace, the joy, the love that the bigger picture of this world has to offer us, that we've been really cut off from, but is there in our heart. So I look forward to seeing you at the live activation. If you can't make that time, know that the energies are encoded in the recording. You can sign up and then catch the replay. It's available at the same link ongoing. So I look forward to seeing you there, or until next time. I'm also going to be doing a soul group session. This is a group intuitive session for the equinox, and that's going to be on Sunday the 22nd. So I look forward to seeing you soon or on the next update, and good work. Thanks for hanging in there. And it's powerful how we can recognize that we're all going through very similar things, even though we're disconnected from our soul groups. A lot of times, this process can feel, we're in the wilderness. We've been in the wilderness and it's very lonely there. And yet it's about coming back to the truth of who we are. And together, when we have that collective soul group experience, it amplifies and supports all of us in a really profound way. So thanks for showing up. I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.